Hello again and welcome. Today's video is going to be number 5 in the Beginner's Guide Revisited series, and today I'm going to be covering the spindle gouge. So here are 3 sizes of spindle gouge. There's the 1/2 inch, the 3/8 and a 1/4 inch. Now the 1/4 inch I very rarely if ever use. This was part of a present that I got many years ago with the Henry Taylor decorating elf, and to be honest with you, I do not use it. So that is not an essential spindle gouge at all. The 1/2 inch spindle gouge, I always used to use those for stock removal etc. on spindles before I started using then the 3/8 to do more detailed work. In honesty, you don't need a 1/2 inch because the 3/8 bull gouge will do the same job. So in actual fact, the 1/2 inch is something that you don't really need either. So I'm going to focus purely on the 3/8 spindle gouge. Before I had the Simon Hope double-ended tools, I had a 3/8 spindle gouge ground to, as this one is here, a 45-degree angle on the bevel with sweat-back wings fingernail grind. And then this is the other side of this tool. I had another one which I ground to this 30-degree angle, again sweat-back wings and fingernail grind. Now the reason for having that grind is to get into very tight corners etc., especially when doing finials and things like that. So these are the 2 profiles, if you like, that I will concentrate on today. Now one of the first things I suppose that a spindle gouge is useful for is making beads. So if we just make a mark there and a mark there and take the parting tool and just go in very slightly either side, and we just want a very simple round over there for that bead. So we start in the middle, rub the bevel, start to get a cut, lift the handle and roll and twist, keeping the cut in the same position. And the same for the other side, lift the handle, start to twist and go to the bottom of the bead. Now there is a very rough bead, and you could just refine it. And get it equal. So that's forming a bead. So the next cut's going to be a cove, and again the spindle gouge does excel at this a little bit. With a cove, let's just say we're going to do one here. So start on the left, pick up your cut, and as you're going in, lift the handle and keep the cut in the same place on the edge and scoop basically. And the idea is to get that equal both sides, which I have failed to do on the first attempt. Nearly there, a little bit more on the bottom here, and just clean that up. So there is a basic cove that you can do with the spindle gouge as well. Now where the 30-degree bevel comes into its own, let's just say that we have let's take this down. Okay, now we want to get down in the middle there. Now with the standard 45-degree grind, you can see what's going to happen. As you can see here, we're going to foul. We're going to foul this part of the work, and obviously to get down there, we're not going to do it. Now if we have the 30-degree bevel in action and using that, we have much more clearance, as you can see. So pick up the cut, we can get right in there, and the same on the other side. Lift the handle, twist in, keep bevel contact. You can go in there right the way down to the bottom with that very small gap either side, 90 degrees. Something you possibly use a skew for, but you can do it with the spindle gouge as well. And just to make that a little bit more the same as the other side, to make that really quite steep. You can make a very thin bead there. That's why the 30-degree bevel really comes into its own, especially if you're doing fine detailed work like on a finial, etc. This becomes a very, very handy grind to have. Now in this cut we're going to be doing a facing cut on here, and what you have to do there is get your entry, put your thumb behind the chisel to stop it skating, because if you don't, before you get in there you could get that skate. So just to establish the cut, go in at 90 degrees and then twist, and you get a skid because we hadn't established the cut. So again, go in, get your cut, twist the handle, get your bevel, have the bevel here at 90 degrees to your work, and go towards the middle of the piece. Like so. A little dimple there, just get that off, that's not a problem. And you've got a nice faced piece with a good surface finish. So just to reiterate again, put your thumb behind, get your cut established. We've got a little shoulder there now, so the bevel has somewhere to ride. Twist. You're now cutting just to the right of the nose, and what you want to do is to keep this bevel at 90 degrees to the face and go in. Also looking to see that the cut you're making keeps the same plane all the way through. And there you've got a nice facing cut there. And I'll just alter the camera so you can see the finish. I think another one from this angle won't hurt. So again, thumb behind to establish the shoulder, twist slightly, and then go towards the middle of the piece, raising the handle as you're going towards the middle, and finish. And you can see there a really nice finish. Now the other thing is a round over. Again, we've done that with the skew. You can do it with any tool, but it's particularly a good tool to do that with. Now what you do, you start your cut, get your cut, lift the handle, twist, and follow the contour you're looking for. And you can see there again a really nice finish on the end grain. So that is another use, or another way that you can use your spindle gouge. A very versatile tool, obviously for spindles, especially getting into tighter corners. Now I'm going to change the piece to another little piece, and let's say you were hollowing out a small box, then you can also use your 3/8 spindle gouge for that as well. Now I've actually been asked a few times if you can use a spindle gouge to hollow out a bowl. Well, to be quite honest with you, the answer's got to be no, because it hasn't got the integrity, the strength. It's not as stable as a bowl gouge because it's of thinner stock. But let's just say this was a small box and you just wanted to hollow out the middle there. A 3/8 spindle gouge is absolutely fine for either back hollowing or indeed conventional hollowing of small objects, goblet bowls and boxes. So if we have the tool rest at a height where you are central, okay, you can actually plunge your spindle gouge in to give you some depth and then back hollow. So what you do is you literally swing the tool. Swing the tool. Now we've got a little nibble there, so a conventional cut, we'll get rid of that, like so, and then continue to hollow. And what you're doing is keeping bevel contact via the wing. Plunge in a bit more, and the important thing is to keep the tool on the same plane throughout the cut. Once you've got your cut, don't drop. If you drop down, you'll get juddering. If you go down, you'll get a catch. So what you need to do is to keep it on, once you get that cut going, keep it on the same plane right the way through the cut. To the edge. So as you can see, we can carry on there. A nice finish as well, and this is some hardwood. I think it's either Meranti or something of that nature. And you can also do the other way, this way, which takes a bit more concentration in my view, and you need to have the tool rest a little lower if you're doing a conventional cut in to the middle. So pick up your cut, establish your bevel, and here you're doing a cut which is virtually the same as the inside of a bowl. So it's the same principle as when you're hollowing out a bowl. But the big thing is, when you start going too far over the tool rest, you're going to lose stability. But for a small piece like this, there's not a problem. But for these sort of an operation, I do prefer raise the tool rest slightly, the back hollowing method, and pick up the cut and keep it in the same plane all the way through the cut, and it gives a really nice finish. One more. Now I'm getting this resonance. Why am I getting that? Because I'm not in the right position. That's how it should sound all the way through the cut. If I get this, I can't get it now. There we go. If I get that, what that means is I'm either coming off the edge of the wing, I'm coming off the edge of the wing here, and I'm not maintaining the same aspect of the tool to the work. There it is. So what I need to do is to turn my tool, close the flute a bit, get the cut, and maintain the same level right the way through the cut to the end. And I think you'll see there a nice finish too. And let's just say this was going to be a basic finial. Now I'm using the 45-degree bevel on the 3/8 spindle gouge, and let's just do a very basic shape to begin with. And the reason I want to show you this is because I want to use the 30-degree bevel to show you how useful that is. Now let's just say we want to, let's lower the tool rest ever so slightly. There you go. Now if I'm going to do that sort of a shape, yeah, that's okay for there. Now I want to remove stock, so I either go towards the headstock this way, just to remove the stock, and this way, now let's just say I wanted to go this is okay using this at the moment. Just a little bit more of a cove here. Okay. Now let's just say, I don't particularly want that, but I want this design, but let's just say I wanted to have a very small bead just here. Now if I use the 30-degree, it's almost like a skew, and if I go in at 90 degrees, you can see how easy it is to get a detail like this. Now I've just cleaned that up. Again, with this being such a pointy end, I can use that to refine this. And then very, very small cut there. Now you see how fine that is. Now with a 45 degree, I'd be struggling a bit there, because this wasn't gone then, so I'd be struggling to get in there. It is so easy with the 30 degree bevel, and it's a great tool, a great grind for those fine details. Now if you go in at 90 degrees like so, like we did back there, and then you want a little bit of a it is really quite a versatile grind to have for small items, and you can use the wing as a planing cut like you would a skew chisel. So for those sort of that sort of an operation, that also shows you that the 30 degree angle on your spindle gouge is a very useful grind to have. Well, that concludes the beginner's guide revisited on the spindle gouge. I hope you newer turners and beginners found it of some use. I think I demonstrated there that I certainly am no expert in the craft, but as I've said in other videos, it's frustrating for me, as it is obviously for a lot of you as well. We know what to do, but we can't always do it, and if the correct technique is shown, at least you know when things don't go right what you need to do to rectify it. Well, thank you very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers now.